All right, let's talk about personal finance. I know. We usually think of it as this super boring chore, right? All spreadsheets and cutting coupons. But what if we looked at it differently? What if it's not a chore at all, but more like a survival guide for a world that's packed with complex and, yeah, sometimes predatory systems?
I know, it sounds like the beginning of a really weird joke, doesn't it? A fallout shelter, some ruthless alien conquerors, and one of the biggest economic disasters in history. What could they possibly have in common? Well, I promise you, there is a very powerful lesson that connects all three of them, and it has everything to do with your money.
And that's it. That's the link. It's all about systems. Your entire financial life is governed by systems. Some are built to help you, but a lot of them are designed to trap you. And learning how to see them, how to survive them, and this is the most important part, how to build your own system, well, that's the single most critical skill for actually building wealth. So here's the game plan for today. We're going to look at systems that are designed to fail you. We'll learn from a massive historical collapse. Then we're going to steal the mindset of a conquering alien empire. Seriously. And then we'll forge all of that into a practical blueprint for your own financial freedom. Let's do this. Okay, first up, let's dig into the kinds of systems that look totally safe on the surface, but are actually engineered to take advantage of you. So, if you've ever played the Fallout games, you know exactly what this is about. Vault Tech sold the ultimate promise: safety, protection from nuclear annihilation. But that promise, it was a complete lie. The vaults are, honestly, the perfect metaphor for systems that promise you one thing, but deliver something way, way more sinister. They promised security, but what people got was a twisted experiment. You know, whether it was pumping weird gas through the air vents or making people sacrifice each other, the system was always designed to benefit the designers, not the poor folks living inside. Okay, so let's bring this back to our world. Just think about the modern system of consumerism. It screams at you that a brand new car is the ultimate sign of success, of freedom. But what is the reality for most people? It's a debt trap. You finance a depreciating asset. That's a fancy way of saying it loses value the second you drive it off the lot, and you get locked into years of payments. It drains your ability to build any real wealth. It sells you status, but it delivers a liability. And hey, this is not just a modern problem. Let's rewind the clock and look at a time when an entire nation's financial system, one that was built on some very shaky promises, just completely collapsed. You know, the 1920s were basically one giant party. The economy was on fire, and for the first time ever, mass consumer credit became normal. People were buying everything: cars, radios, even stocks on installment plans and margin loans. The whole system was just running on borrowed cash and his blind faith that the party would go on forever. And when you look at this timeline, you can see just how fast it all came crashing down. I mean, the market quadrupled in just 5 years, creating this insane amount of paper wealth. A couple people tried to sound the alarm, but nobody listened. And then, bam, in a single day, Black Tuesday, the whole system just shattered. A few years later, 1 out of every 4 Americans was out of a job. The scale of this collapse is just staggering. $200 billion in today's money, just gone, vanished into thin air. It is the ultimate warning against just blindly participating in a system built on debt and speculation without really understanding the risks. It proves just how quickly wealth that isn't real can disappear. Okay, so we've seen how trusting a fragile system can absolutely wreck you. Now, let's flip the script. Let's look at a system designed for ruthless, unstoppable success, and see what parts we can steal from it. So in the comic Invincible, the Viltrumites have this really simple, brutal philosophy: survival of the fittest. It's a culture of just absolute discipline, total efficiency, and this single-minded focus on making the empire stronger. There is zero room for weakness, zero room for distraction. Now, obviously, we are going to ignore the whole intergalactic genocide thing, but that discipline, that's what we're interested in. So let's translate that brutal efficiency into a financial strategy for us. Your prime directive, your number one mission, is to automate your savings. That means money gets invested before you even have a chance to think about spending it. It's your first line of defense. Next, you eliminate weakness. And financially, that weakness is lifestyle inflation. When you get a raise, you don't just spend more, you save more. And finally, you execute flawlessly. You let the unstoppable force of compound interest do all the heavy lifting for you, year after year.
All right, so we've learned from the bad systems, we've stolen from the ruthless ones. Now it's time to put all those lessons together into your personal blueprint for financial freedom. This number might look a little crazy, but it's absolutely real. Think about it. If you just skip buying a $9 lunch every day and invest that money instead, say in a simple low-cost index fund that basically just tracks the whole stock market, over 30 years, that small daily habit can grow into over $200,000. That's a down payment on a house from packing a lunch.
And this isn't magic, it's just math. It's the incredible power of compound interest. Your money earns returns, right? But then those returns start earning their own returns. It creates this amazing exponential curve, where after a while, the growth of your money just completely blows past what you're actually putting in.
And this chart says it all. It perfectly shows why when you start is so much more important than how much you start with. Look at this. The early investor puts in a third of the money, but ends up with over $200,000 more than the person who started later. Why? Because their money had a whole extra decade to compound. Time is your single greatest asset. So, how do you actually track your progress in this new system you're building? It's not your income, it's not the number in your checking account. The only number that truly matters is your net worth. It's the simplest, most honest way to measure your financial health. Everything you own that has value minus everything you owe. Your goal is simple. Make this number go up every single month. So here it is, your 5-step blueprint. Number 1, automate everything. Make saving your prime directive so it happens without you even thinking. 2, max out those retirement accounts like a 401k or an IRA, especially if you get an employer match. That is literally free money. 3, stop buying things that go down in value on credit, like that new car. Remember Vault-Tech's shiny promise? It's a trap. 4, track your net worth every month. That is your scoreboard. And 5, never stop investing in yourself. Your ability to earn more is your most powerful wealth-building tool. You know, the biggest thing to take away from all this is that wealth isn't an accident. It's not about getting a lucky stock tip or inheriting a bunch of money. It is the predictable, almost inevitable outcome of a well-designed system that you execute consistently over time. You are the architect of that system.
Look, the world is absolutely full of systems designed to keep you on a treadmill, spending what you earn, staying stuck in debt. They're powerful and they are everywhere. But you have the ability to opt out and to build your own. So the only real question left is, what's your system going to be?